Okay, let's look at a few ways to make our texture richer and more interesting. Okay, so I'm starting out with this Russian sign I got up here, and I think I'll try the magic wand, and that'll work. I'm just going to let this be kind of rough. And now here's a cool thing. Okay, this is actually a technique from a later tutorial, but I'm gonna use it here a couple of times, and I think it'll work well with this. So I get my magic wand tool, right? Now selections aren't on any particular layer, right? You can get a selection on one layer and then use it on another layer. It's just kind of above the whole document. So I get the magic wand. My tolerance is 16. Contiguous is off, meaning it's going to look for similar textures all over the place. Sample all layers is off. And I'm going to go to my concrete layer. Okay. And if I click on that, it does all of this crazy selection. Okay. I mean, it's, if I made it 64 or something like that, select, deselect, and clicked, it gets much less because it's less tolerant. Okay, let me try 32. All right, I'm going to go with that. Now watch this. So I'll zoom in on this thing, and you can see all the areas that are selected. And so I can see a little bit better. I'm going to go View, Show, and turn off selection edges. It's still selected. You just can't see where the selection is. I recommend that you turn that back on when you're done. So I go back to my Russian sign layer and I hit delete. Okay. All right. So that's kind of cool actually, but it deleted too much. So I'm going to go select inverse to select the opposite stuff. The selection edges come back. I'm going to hit delete. Okay, so it gets this cool kind of like, this worn pattern that is that relates to or makes sense with the concrete because it comes from there. So it makes it look like it goes together. Let's see, where is this? And I'm going to put my thing on top of that, maybe. Okay. Control T there. All right, and then maybe so this warning pattern. I just Googled, warning stripe texture, right? And a lot of them have stick and watermarks on them. I was looking for one that was pretty fine and not too clean looking. So this one looks good. When things have like kind of like lighting on them, see how it's dark on the edges. I'm just gonna make sure I'm on the right layer. Just using the rectangular marquee tool, hitting delete, just getting rid of the dark stuff so it's kind of even. All right, now you could put this thing around the base of all the feet, and that might look cool, but I'm just going to do it maybe across the top here. Control T, make it a little bigger. Okay, I could use a mask here, but just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to do the same thing and just cut off what I don't want. Select, deselect, and then I'm going to take that layer. I'm going to call it warning, and I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to put the copy down here, right? Oops, I should have, here. Okay. After I see the whole thing together on the model, I'll have to adjust that a little bit. And let's see. It should go up here also, right? Yeah. Because this is going around the side of this part is, oh no, this part here. Okay, so I just made a copy wherever it went. Here it is. Okay, and I want that to be underneath the stain. Actually, all of them should be. Yeah. All right. That might be cool. We'll see how it looks. And let's see. So I have 3 warning stripe layers. I'm going to, I selected all of them. This is not necessary just for this next thing I'm going to do to make it a little easier. Just right click, merge layers to put them all together on one layer. Okay. Actually probably not a good idea, but I'm just doing it to make this easier. So I go back to my concrete layer, get this thing, and I think we liked the inverted ones. I'm going to go select inverse, okay? And back to my warning signs, and let's see how that looks. Okay, so it just makes it look a little more aged and stuff like that, right? And you can even do stuff like, you know, go in with the lasso tool. Yeah. Rough things up a little bit. Yeah. Let's see, what else do I have up here? Oh, you can throw some blood spatters on there. Let's see. Is that really going to be a PNG? That really is a PNG. Here's an interesting thing. Okay, so this is a PNG file that's transparent. All right. If I copy image and then I go to Photoshop, unless something changed. Okay. So even though that appears to have been a real PNG file, the transparency of the PNG doesn't survive being copied and pasted. Okay, I don't know. So if you have a PNG, that's a file that has transparency, right? You could always just use this, or it has to have something with decent edges, right? Like if it's running off the edges, then you're gonna have to like cut around it so it doesn't look like the edge of a piece of paper. Some things look too random, like somebody who's just doing a painting and it dripped. Something like this or this you probably want. But anyway, you could just use a blending mode of multiply and the blood might look somewhat darker, but it would probably work. All right, so I'm going to do save image as, and I'm going to go to class stuff, AR250, arches. And so in this case, I can't copy paste, but I'm going to go file, open, and arches. There's my PNG file. And I'm going to make sure I'm in the move tool, just tear this off. And there's different ways you can do this, but I find this most convenient, and drag it on. And voila, it's real live textures. Real live PNG file. Okay. Image adjustments. Darken a little bit. Okay, I'm just letting this be on multiple parts actually, because the way it is, I think it's not going to hurt anything. I'm going to duplicate that and put another one somewhere else. Yeah, So you just want to keep building and building on this thing until it's some kind of like, you know, rich. These are all, I just did the Google torn poster texture, and that's probably a bit over the top, but you know, you might be able to use some of this stuff too, as long as you watch out that you don't have like clean edges or anything like that, but you could cut out parts of it, and if you work it right, you can make some interesting textures. Oh, here's another thought. Let's see, where is it here, perhaps? Yeah, like if I take a stain, copy image, and I'm gonna put this on top of everything. And it doesn't matter too much if this is small, I don't think. Sorry, it's I'm recording with Zoom, and when I put my cursor up towards the top of the screen, the interface comes down and covers what I'm trying to do. Yeah, that is pretty low resolution, but let's see what I'm going to try. Okay, so I'm just trying to make like a little bit of variation random on top of this concrete and on top of everything. I'm going to turn the opacity of that down. Okay, that's so subtle you hardly notice it, but so you can do stuff like that just to make things, you know, keep things interesting, and try to like really make it look like some kind of urban surface that's just seen it all, you know. When you save it as JPEG, let's hand this in, and you know, when you export to the 3D program, we will definitely be turning the template off. But for when you hand it in, just leave it on so I can see where everything is. Okay.